Hey, what's up? What I was going to do today, since I'm just going online briefly, I'm going to do, oh God, I, I'm going to do the junction. I'm going to just bike over there. I'm not at the junction right now. I'm like at Eglinton Flats area. And so I'm going to bike over to the junction, go online in the junction, and then my plan is, right, when it tries to draw me into the downtown, or too far west, or too far north, too far south, whatever. I'll just come back to the junction and only accept requests that start from like closer to there. So my plan is, because I'm only doing this for, a couple hours this morning, so I'm gonna have some downtime during that time, but I'll be able to just do some shopping during that time because I've got some money and I'll be making some more money. And what I gotta do is some food shopping for myself. So, that's what I'm doing today. But so I've been getting these requests from Uber Eats for like feedback on what my experience as a Uber Eats courier is, and I know nobody's ever going to watch this, but since their feedback thing is annoying to get into, I'm just going to give them my feedback here. The map needs to have street names on all the streets. Just put the names in there. Like, I don't want to have to wonder whether something is Spadina or Avenue Road because it's not labeling like even the major streets. I don't understand it's stupid. So I just want them to label all the streets on the map. Like, fuck you guys. Just label all the fucking streets and I'll be all good. That's all I need. That's all I need. And then I got my sort of initial ideas for my own app uh, that I want to put together. Um, an open source one that you can just run on any server through, PHP and MySQL, um, and then access through a web, interface instead of an app. So my idea is, you basically you get connected with the system, and it shows you all the current and upcoming requests, um, not just for the like for that area, but also for like the whole city. So you can go to where there's gonna be a lot of action by the time you get there, or something like that. And you don't have to like wander around or get drawn from different places to different places. You can just be strategic. So it's like a little more thought, but more transparency, so you can see, you can go into like, oh, this person wants to do this in like 4 hours. What do they want to do exactly? Oh, they want it to get delivered over there. Well, over there in 4 hours there's also this other thing that I could do. So you could figure stuff out, but then you could also see all the other couriers and like where they are and which jobs they're doing and which jobs they've tagged themselves as like, I intend to do this, or I might do this, or I'm curious about this, or something like that. And so you can see like, oh, okay, well, that area over there, it's got lots of couriers and not that much business, so I'm going to go over here and try and pick up these other little jobs and stuff. And that way, I think, couriers and customers could all sort of get something predictable going on. Like a customer logging on in the morning, they're like, I need to get some breakfast. They could just put a note on saying like, I need a breakfast delivery. And it would pop up as a little thing that, is where they are and shows like what, I need breakfast. And then they could also see, who's in the area. So they could be like, okay, well, there's like two couriers around here and there's all these restaurants. So I'm going to change my request to make it more specific to like this restaurant. And then they could see if somebody picks it up and goes and does the job. And then they'd get the delivery, and the other couriers could see like, oh, maybe I should go for that. Oh no, this other guy's closer, and they've already uh, taken it on. But you could have like two couriers saying they're going to do the same job and showing up at the same place, but at least like they could be aware of each other's interest in it. So it's like, if if it's on, if the race is on, then the race is on, fine. But um, it would make it really, really, really easy for people to say, okay, we're both here, for what are you here for the afternoon? Yeah, I'm here for the afternoon too. Okay, well, let's just split it up like every second one you take it, or I take all the food ones and you take all the, the other ones, or something like that. Or just like whichever is closer, we'll just play like soccer players, just play defense here, just picking up the ball. Um, so I think that would be really cool. It'd be easy to just coordinate stuff with some communication, or just sort of seeing like, okay, in this area, there's me and this other person. So I'll just see what comes up and just go to it if I'm closer, because they seem to be doing the same thing. So it's fine. I think that would be really nice. As a customer, you could see what the availability is. You could see like, okay, well, there's a bunch of couriers in that neighborhood over there. I'll just make a request from a restaurant that's in that area. Simple enough. Like, and or I'll just reach out to one of them and say like, look, I'm in this area. Like, I need a delivery of some kind. Like, what can you do for me? And they could communicate in text, or call each other up, but something really simple. So that's my ideas for that. That's what is up. I've been doing pretty well with the deliveries and stuff. I'm actually at like 95% satisfaction rate, which is really nice. Um, I'm still having trouble with like beverages and shitty cups and soup in kind of shitty containers. And somebody at Burgers Priest sort of showed me this one thing that you can do about it, which is to wrap the whole container in saran wrap. And so I'm going to try and take some saran wrap with me starting today and just like liberally apply it to anything that needs it. And you can't get away with just partially doing it. Like, you can't get away with just using it to like wrap the part that you're concerned about separating, because it won't adhere to anything except for itself. So you have to completely encase the object. But if you do that, it forms this like pretty much impenetrable layer where it will keep everything in shape. So nothing will come apart, and even if something does manage to force its way apart, the liquid that escapes doesn't really have anywhere to go, and you can just kind of pour it back into the thing from the saran wrap. It's pretty fucking cool. So I'm gonna start doing that, and then I'm just gonna hand it to the customer still wrapped up, so that if it's spilt or whatever, they have to deal with it. Um, and just let them unwrap the stuff, because that would just be wasting their time for me to be unwrapping it after it's like I already kill sort of like a minute per item that I have to wrap up. But yeah, yesterday I tried with a little cafe that had these juices in these little cups, and they're like, it's fine because there's no hole in the top of the cup. I'm like, it's gonna come right off anyway. The lid, is gonna come off. And so at first I was like, do you have any saran wrap? Because it works. And at first they put like a layer of saran wrap between the lid and the cup, and I'm like, that's not gonna do anything. And so then they like wrapped sort of like taped saran wrap around the outside of where the lid meets the cup. And I thought like, okay, that's worth a try. That's probably gonna work. But it did not work. Like, that shit did not work. It just all separated out. Because yeah, saran wrap, like some sort of plastic surfaces, it will kind of adhere to, but it only really bonds with itself. And so that's why it's fucking wrap. Like, you have to wrap shit in it. So I just got to figure out how to like wrap stuff up without opening it up or anything like that. But I think that's going to be easy. I'm pretty good at saran wrapping shit. But before, I was kind of thinking about like, okay, maybe I should have some like big containers that I can put these containers into, and then kind of stuff them with like grocery bags or whatever, so that it's all sealed and it can spill as much as it wants, because I can just pour it from the big container back into the one that it came in, and then I can just wash out the big container, between each use, right? Anytime it gets anything in it. So that was this kind of other idea that I had for just making it 100% foolproof. But the problem with that is like you have to have containers of different sizes, and then you have to like be so careful about putting it in and taking it out, and then you got these big bulky containers kind of taking up space. So when I don't need them, they would really be in the way. So I'm like, okay. So this saran wrap thing, I think is a much better plan. So I'm looking forward to doing it because it's sort of like that's the only leftover problem that I have. Like the merchants are awesome, the customers are awesome, the drivers are awesome. The app, except for the missing stuff on the map, is fine. Like I shouldn't have to go into Google Maps just to get street names. And it's not just street names of the like minor streets. It's major streets too. Like it won't show me Spadina or Bay. Like I was wondering uh whether I was supposed to be turning up Bay, and you have to like go through the directions and stuff to see like what was that turn and stuff. And I have to like memorize. I'm like, okay, it's the third left, whatever that is. It's the third major left. Or it's so stupid, to have to think about that stuff when it seems like they're just trying to make it look more elegant than it has to look. Like it just has to be like fucking lines and words. It's really it's so stupid. And this is one of the reasons why, like, I think, my idea would be so much better because you just get this, like, Google map that's being constantly updated. And a Google map will just show you can just pick any format that you want. And maybe it would start out in, like, simple street atlas form. So it would just be, like, so fucking basic and just, like, no real, uh, you know, uh, data usage for it. But you could switch to satellite or whatever and just show every single street name but really beautifully. Like it's not hard. It's just weird how difficult it is to find like map making software. Like I'm having a terrible time finding any even open source or shareware or major license software for easily producing maps, and I'm like, I don't want to do this in an illustration program. So it's fucking and all I need to do is I just need to be able to make a map where like why don't I use just Google Maps to make a map? Like, well, I do, but if I want to print out something or make a graphic or something like that, I need the street names to not be where they are. I need to be able to have the street names in good places. Like that's all I need. I just need to be able to tweak Google Maps so that it will show every single street name, no matter what the zoom level. Like just so that I can make a certain type of map work in print, because in print you can't zoom in and out and stuff like that. And I'm sick of trying to cobble maps together by doing screenshots of like zoomed in with all the street names visible and then whatever, or trying to stitch together illustrate like EPS files and PDF files and stuff of those, you know, things, because then still the street name ends up like in the wrong place on the line that represents the street. Like I need actual, I just need the lines to fill up the entire road where the road is. That's all from, and it doesn't need to be satellite. I just need the lines to be a proper representation of the road. And then I need the street names to be like either next to those lines or inside them, but just all the street names need to be visible. And it's annoying to not be able to get Google Maps or any of the other online mapping, things to just do this one basic design and typography thing so I can make a decent printout. And then when I try to export something like that into PDF form and then edit it in an illustration program, it just becomes so unwieldy. It's like this crazy, crazy, crazy design cleanup operation just to get it printable. So I'm really annoyed, like, and I just feel like why is there this huge hole in software? There's got to be one of these programs that's usable. So whatever, I'll figure it out. But meanwhile, like it's just kind of a testament to people's illiteracy when it comes to maps that I guess the Uber Eats app is just relying on us using the directions. But that actually leads me to my other piece of feedback. I wish I'd remembered this for earlier in the video. But my other piece of feedback is I would love to be able to simply use the Uber Eats app as a delivery courier just in voice only mode. So I just talk to the app and I say like, what's the address again? And the app says, 346 Bloor West, and I'm like, am I going the wrong way? No, you're going the right way. Or I don't want to use this route. I don't want to use that intersection at Bay and whatever. I think that would be pretty simple, but even just to do simple things like I've completed this delivery and have it check it off and then just tell you your next pickup. And, you could say, like, I've arrived, I'm waiting for the order, and it would put wait on it. I'm ready to deliver this, and it would tell you where to go. I'm lost, and it would remind you where to go, and it wouldn't be chattering at you all the time, or unexpectedly, it would like only respond to voice commands. It'd be like, where am I going again? You're going south to Bathurst and whatever. What's the address again? The address is this, and just be able to use it in that mode. And especially if there's a voice activated thing for going going dark, like where, because I use mine in the mode where when I click off my phone and put it in my pocket and I'm on my way somewhere, it's kind of, I'm offline basically for the app. I'm not offline, I'm in the middle of doing a task, but it doesn't update my position. It just knows I was last seen at this spot, and um, then, the next time I check my phone for the address, it updates that location just because I turn my phone on and then turn it back off again. So that saves me a lot of like data. It also saves me a lot of uh, battery life. And I like that the Uber Eats app is very much, tolerant of that, you know, that way, mode of usage. So I would like to be able to have voice activated commands where I say, update GPS position now, or it's like, I'm ready for an update, like I'm going south from here, update my position now. Or you could update your own ETA and say, I'll be there in 5 minutes, or I'm delayed, I'll be there in 10 minutes, or something like that. And it would take that as an actual update. I would really like that. That would really enhance the situation and just make things so much faster. Because you could just have a little thing and just make it so easy. I'd never have to take my phone out of my pocket, wouldn't have to be fumbling with it when it really does add like to the delivery time. Having to fumble with your phone and do visual stuff, take your gloves off and put them back on all the time, it really does fuck us up. So that would be a huge enhancement. With that, I shall bid you all adieu. I hope you all are making good cash and eating good food, um, and having good times.